Hello, everybody. Welcome to
Am I the A-Hole podcast, baby?
I'm Danny Vega.
I'm Anthony O'Connell. Thank you so much for tuning in.
And we got one heck of a show today. Please rate, review,
and subscribe. We need it. Do all that. Tag a friend. Share us on your Instagram story. Let someone know.
hop on to iTunes and give us a little 5-star arena. We'll love you for it. We'll love you forever for it. It'll change your whole life. We got one heck of a show today. We have a new acronym I'm kind of excited about. Caitlin Netzley used this. AITA. This was in our Facebook group, which, as you guys know, we're having a ton of fun in. It's just OP is the asshole.
It's great. I'm into it.
But it's fun. AITA. It sounds like Mediterranean food, Anthony.
Sounds like a delicious drink.
Yes, it does.
The cousin of the margarita.
What are you gonna get, Jose Cuervo? I'll do the OP. It's just a piece of pita bread in water. A lot of interesting stories today. Second up is AITA for refusing to go to a Knicks game. VIP suite I got as a surprise birthday gift. But first, AITA for my birthday gift to my wife by you did one just up one. My wife and I are tight on money right now, and thus we didn't have anything in the budget for my wife's birthday gift. Instead, I sent her to her friend's house for a few hours, and my kids and I did all the household chores. When she got home, we showed the clean house off to her and told her it was her birthday gift. She said thank you, but I could tell she was upset. I pressed her a bit, and she accused me of seeing her as a maid because I think she should be grateful for something she thinks the kids and I should be doing regularly. I tried to explain that we were just trying to be nice and make things easier for her, and she just kept saying, this is exactly the problem, until she told me to just stop talking about it. Am I the asshole? Worst birthday gift ever. Are you kidding me? Like, what does this guy think that women are? Like, how is just doing someone's chore for them at all a gift?
Yeah, he's like, I did the bare minimum. She's upset with me. I don't get it. AITA?
Right. Also, he said that he did, quote, all the household chores. So, like, he pretty much did what needed to be done anyway.
I can relate to that. Like, I like to pat myself on the back for things I'm supposed to do anyway. He's like, hey, babe, it's your birthday. I brushed my teeth. I shut the door and went to the restroom. I'm really just crushing it for you. I spoil you.
Oh, my God. Did you also turn on the light when you left a room? Did you open the garage before you put the car in it? That's like, what a great gift. I love you so much. Lisa Danielle Porter writes, write her a meaningful letter, make her favorite dinner with the kids, run her a bath and pour her some wine, make her feel special. I think that's my main qualm with this gift. It's like, it's just so generic. It's like giving someone a Hot Pocket.
It's no thought.
No thought.
The Hot Pocket example is great because it's like, I went to Dwayne Reed last second before I went home. Oh, shit, it's my wife's birthday. Let me grab a Hot Pocket. This is like a joke of a gift, and much like a joke, if you have to explain it, it's probably not very good, right? Like, he had to explain to her, the house is clean.
Right.
Didn't you notice?
And he got her a gift that he said was, quote, the exact problem. Imagine getting someone the exact thing that's their problem.
Yeah, it's like, I know you're drowning in debt, so I went ahead and maxed out your credit card, took care of that for you.
Caitlin Netzley writes, one of the things that makes me the most happy is a super clean house. For him to do something like that would mean he knows me really well. Okay, but I feel like this actually supports what we're saying because Caitlin's whole point here is that is something that would make her particularly happy, right? Like that would indicate that it was a thoughtful gift, and that's exactly what did not happen here. Amanda Hickman writes, you're totally not the asshole. This is also coming from someone who's basically written off her birthday because I had a kid 2 days before. I mean, what are you talking about, Amanda? Just because your life sucks doesn't mean everyone has to be like, oh, birthdays are done. Amanda's out on birthdays. Everyone's out on birthdays.
I took that as, she's like, hey, I'm a mom. Being a mom's more important to me. My kid's birthday matters more than mine.
The fact that she made what I think everyone would consider a sacrifice doesn't mean that everyone is expected to make the sacrifice. I think that's ridiculous. I mean, I applaud her for being a mother who's like, hey, it's not about me anymore. Emily Gross writes, did you get a gold star on your chore board at least? Sydney Hermione Lehman, a legend in the group, I'll add, writes, did OP dust the fans, clean the grout, empty the fireplace, clean the window and door jambs, etc.? He probably picked up the mess that he made, this piece of shit. It's relieving someone of a chore, and I don't think that that's a gift.
The only way he could have done worse is if he just didn't do anything. He's like, I thought about cleaning the house. It's the thought that counts.
Anything he could have done would not have cost money. Like, there was just no reason. He was trying to paint a certain, oh, we're broke, whoa.
100%, you're the asshole.
You're the asshole. AITA for refusing to go to a Knicks game VIP suite I got as a surprise birthday gift by you anon. My birthday just passed recently, and my wife asked me to be home around 6 p.m. I assumed she wanted to make me a nice dinner, so I agreed. I have a home studio, so I decided to work from home that day, and by the time 6 p.m. rolled by, I was really concentrated on a project. The doorbell rang, which is odd, but maybe my wife forgot her keys, so I got up and answered the door. To my bewilderment, it was a few friends of mine. They come up and wish me a happy birthday and ask me if I'm excited for the game. I'm totally confused, but quickly figure out what's going on. More friends start to arrive, about 8 in total. They are all super enthusiastic and upbeat, but I assume it's mostly for the VIP suite. As I'm processing all the birthday wishes and whatnot, I slowly start to assess the situation. I don't like basketball. I hate surprises, and I was planning on working and just having food that evening, okay? Going to a Knicks game is not what I want to do. I was really enjoying getting my work done. My wife going out of her way to seize control of what's supposed to be my day is selfish. It makes her feel good for planning this gesture that makes her superficially seem like a great wife, but if she was selfless, she would have asked me what I wanted to do. I plan everything in my life, even my vacations / leisurely activities. It's a consequence of being an engineer, I guess. So this is something she knows. I don't vibe with variables. My wife finally shows up as she was caught up heading home from work, kisses me, wishes me happy birthday, and presents me with 10 or so Knicks VIP suite passes. I had made up my mind at this point and asked her to go into the other room. I explained that I really just don't want to go, that it's my birthday and I shouldn't be bullied into something I don't want to do. My mind was busy with a project, and that's what I, the birthday boy, would like to do. Obviously, she starts crying and screaming. Determined, I go outside and tell all my buddies I don't want to go to the game, that I had other plans for myself. They are confused and tell me to, quote, F your plans and let's go. After some back and forth, I lie and tell them to take the passes and I'll meet everyone there. I just need some time to get ready. They agreed. As soon as they left, I shut my phone off, knowing I'll be getting 100 calls when I don't show up. At this point, my wife is still in our bedroom, crying and feeling humiliated. So, AITA for not going. Also, AITA for not feeling any remorse. It's my day. Why should I have other people decide how I have to spend it?
It's weird that he is an engineer, but he doesn't vibe with variables. Like, I thought the whole thing was all math. It was all variables.
It's like being like, oh, I'm a doctor, but you know what I don't vibe with? Saving people's lives. I'm a car salesman. How do I get to work? I live here. I wouldn't get in one of those death traps if you paid me.
Yeah, he also says that like he's the birthday boy. He should do whatever the birthday boy wants to do. But I don't know any boy that just wants to work. Like, it sounds like he's adulting.
This guy is adulting way too freaking hard, bro. He needs to calm down. I looked up the price, $8,000 minimum for one of these VIP suites. Can you believe that at a Knicks game? Steep.
I went to one of these VIP suites once, and it was awesome. I don't care about sports at all, but like you can get drunk, have snacks, eat your friends, and there's a really great view of the stage if you want to see that.
Did you just say a stage?
I meant court, the basketball court. You can
imagine the disappointment of someone who has like been told that it's a stage. They're just like, this is the worst play ever. There's just a bunch of men running around. All the costumes are the same. There's no story. This is terrible. What is this?
I once dated a girl that said she hates basketball because of the sneakers squeaking on the court drove her crazy. I was like, that's the most nitpicky picky reason ever to hate a sport.
Yeah, that's ridiculous. This is what's complicated about this story, right? It's like you got this guy saying, well, I don't like basketball and that's not my thing and she should know better, blah, blah, blah. But it's kind of like, I don't like basketball, but if my girlfriend got me tickets to the NYC Madison Square Garden, I'm going to be having a fun time. I mean,
it's a gift. Come on, just take it. And sometimes being an adult, you have to do things you don't really want to do. Like, it would have been so much easier and nicer for him to go do the thing.
It's kind of a social thing. Like, really, if the group you're going with is all about hanging out with you, what's the big problem? Like, it's a social thing. The game is tangential, folks.
Exactly, especially when you're thinking of it as being in a suite. It's not like she bought him regular like nosebleed rafter seats and they're sitting amongst strangers and people are spilling beer on them and being rowdy fans. No, it's a private suite. They bring you everything you could ever want. Any kind of snack, any food, any alcohol.
Anna Marie Kali writes, I think YTA because of how you handled it. I'm assuming your wife spent a ton of money on those tickets. $8,000, Anna. She says, accept the gift, don't be a dick, and then have a conversation later. Totally agree with that. Katie Howell writes, also, newsflash for everyone here. You're an adult. Your birthday is just another day. It's not quote unquote yours. Effing childish.
I don't really value my birthdays anymore. It's like, it's cool because you either get older or you die, but I don't like go too crazy with my B-days.
Rico Pagliuca writes, counterpoint, it's literally the only day a person gets to celebrate themselves without societal shame. I'm giving her the benefit of the doubt. I think she was trying to give a good gift. I think it's objectively a good gift. Like, I don't know what kind of person you are where you're just like, this is a terrible gift.
I don't know that it's objectively a good gift. Like, she should have known that he doesn't like basketball.
Anybody should be able to have fun at a game in a suite. I mean, give me a break. And he's with literally all his friends, Anthony.
She could have got him a reservation for 8 at a restaurant or bar, and they could have had that same experience, save $8,000.
Cameron McWhorter writes, as an engineering student, I relate to this submitter's personality. I plan everything. Okay, well, that's fine. That's fine. So plan a second birthday. How about that? Plan everything. Lisa O'Connell, sorry, I can't relate to rich people problems.
I mean, it is definitely a rich person problem. I don't know anybody lower income that's like, well, I wasted $8,000. I was hoping he might like it, but he didn't. Whoopsie.
Right. John Rosenberger says, she went way out of her way to treat you to something nice, and you behaved like a kid on my Super Sweet 16 who got a Range Rover instead of the Benz you wanted. Well, listen, John, my daddy got me that stupid Jeep trash. I don't need it.
I once knew a kid in college that was upset because he got a red Mercedes-Benz and he clearly wanted a black one, and his dad was a shithead for not getting him the black one.
Stop, dude. Are you serious? You knew that, punk?
Yes.
Laura Jean Moore writes, not the asshole. I don't even know how little communication there is between you and your wife that she didn't know you don't like basketball. But you don't have to do what you don't want to do. Okay. But if someone throws down 8 G's for your ass, I kind of feel like go with the flow a little bit, okay? Ethan?
In the wife's defense, if this guy's such a maniac that he likes to plan every detail of his life, he very well could have told her, here's my plan for my birthday.
Right.
Which he didn't do. So one thing I noticed, we did 2 stories about birthday gifts. One person spent $0 and the other person spent around approximately $8,000. And we found out that regardless of cost, you can have a miserable, horrible gift. It really is truly the thought that counts. So make sure to put thought into the gift, whether it's $0 or $8,000, anywhere in between. Think about it.
Dude, I love that because it's like one of those classic things where the cliche gets it. It's the thought that counts. Caitlin Netzley writes, each of the phrases and wordings he uses or quoted actually makes me wonder if he might have Asperger's. The way he speaks and presents himself through his words sound very much like it. With that possibility, his reasoning is actually kind of understandable. I'm not really comfortable being like, oh, this guy's an asshole. Oh, but he's also on the spectrum, right? Like, I don't really feel good making that assertion.
So you're saying if they're on the spectrum, they're not an asshole because they get a free pass because they're on the spectrum?
I'm not ready with my level of ignorance to just start saying, like, it's the same standards. I didn't know what to expect, so I interviewed someone. I wanted to learn more from someone who knows about this topic, so I spoke with Megan Tolway, a board-certified behavior analyst, a BCBA. She previously worked as a teacher to autistic students. She agreed that OP's reaction was atypical.
Most people that are going to respond to a situation like that would be annoyed internally, but would also have enough social couth to realize that they would be letting down a lot of other people and would go along with it and just internally be pissed about it.
I told her that some commenters suggested OP may be on the spectrum. She didn't want to diagnose anyone based on a Reddit post, something about ethics, but said,
oftentimes people that have social deficits, they really do need the nuances that we've all figured out just by navigating life. They need them set in stone as rules. If I do this, then I'm an asshole. If I don't do this, I'm not an asshole.
So like in this case, OP thought that just because he was the birthday boy, he could do whatever he wanted. Rules like that. I asked her if the subreddit or our Facebook group could help people on the spectrum understand these nuances.
It can, but unfortunately, they're so rigid in their thinking that sometimes they need rules for every little scenario. So that they might not take this and then generalize it to another situation where somebody surprised them with lunch and they had this idea of what they were already going to have for lunch and they didn't want this surprise lunch.
We talk a lot about rigidity on the podcast. Generally, when people are being extremely inflexible, stubborn, and unaccommodating, we think they're assholes. I asked Megan if rigidity from someone on the spectrum was really the same kind of thing. It's not.
So it pairs closely to OCD characteristics of really having rituals and routines established that they can rely on, that they know will get them access to the things they want or avoid the things that they don't want to interact with. And when something is thrown off on that schedule or that routine, then they have the unknown. And since they don't have a lot of self-regulation, then they are exposed to something that could be triggering, and it could really lead to potentially a really traumatic experience for them.
The call was over 1 minute long, so I said something stupid. It's almost like with a normal person, when they're being rigid...
Neurotypical.
Oh, sorry, God. I felt pretty bad, but she knew I was trying my best and explained.
It's hard because you want to have this umbrella conversation about something, and you really can't. They're all different, just like any neurotypical person is completely different from another person. I think in the context of trying to understand them, we do that through comparison. And when we compare, we always compare to the norm or what's normal. So, I think it's just a natural faux pas. Don't dive too deep.
I told Megan I'd read, quote, "Once you've met one autistic person, you've met one autistic person." She said it was one of her favorite quotes. She told me that some autistic people were highly empathetic to a fault. I asked her if she knew any people like this. She said she did.
I had a student in my classroom, and if another kid, say his food fell on the ground, immediately he was jumping up. He's like, no, have my lunch. I'm fine. I don't need a lunch. You have this. Right? He just wanted to solve everyone's problems. I think that he had his own fixation on everyone being happy. And so if there was anything going on with anybody, it didn't have to be a friend of his, it could be a stranger, he would forego his own comfort, his own situation to appease whoever was around him, which puts him in a really vulnerable situation.
I felt like I learned a lot, but I needed more. I needed to know if asking groups of people whether or not we were assholes was behaviorally impactful.
For folks that struggle with social cues and understanding how people respond to them, their lives are more difficult because of it. So yes.
Thanks a lot for the insights, Megan. Now it is time for everyone's favorite part of the show, listener submissions.
Am I the a-hole for not taking my dog's poo home with me? I went to a friend's house for dinner one night. I worked with him and only met his wife a few times. I was single at the time and had my dog Tiger. Tiger used to go everywhere with me, so I asked if it was okay if Tiger came, and he said, absolutely. We have 3 dogs of our own, and they would love a new friend. Tiger and I go over to their house, and we had a great night of food, beer, and fellowship. It's getting late, and I thanked for a great evening and called Tiger in from the backyard. I was putting his leash on him, and the wife hands me a plastic grocery store bag. I looked at her confused as to what this was about. She said, you need to clean up after your dog. Immediately, I'm like, I'm sorry, I'll go out there and do that now. When I get to the backyard, there's dog shit everywhere. She was standing on the deck, and I looked up at her and said, I'm not sure which ones are his. Do you know? Should I just pick up the bag's worth and call it good? So I looked around for a semi-fresh one, thinking this could be his. I picked up several piles and walked back upstairs and said, where's your trash cans? She said, it's from your dog. You take it with you. I set it down on their patio table and grabbed my dog and left. My buddy texted me and told me how ungrateful I was and that I do not have respect for other people's property. Then said I should not have a dog if I refuse to clean up after him. AITA.
Wow, what a monster. Katie Howe writes, not the asshole. I mean, yeah, pick up after your dog, but what the can't throw something away at their house? Seriously, what kind of crazy rule is this? They don't have a trash can? I mean, what is going on with these people? Lauren McKenz writes, it would be a totally different story if they were a no-dog household and kept some sort of amazing yard and their kids ran around in it. Okay, then fine, pick up your dog shit, but take it home with you? She's a psycho.
Yeah, and I would say regardless of kids or not, like taking poop with you under any circumstance is a psycho move.
That's not a thing. Brittany Lane Klebe writes, not the asshole. I also appreciate the shade you threw by saying, I'm not sure which ones are his. Yeah.
That was a great jab. That was such a passive-aggressive
Dude, that
little
was
thing.
an absolutely key jab. Are you kidding me? Get this.
I don't like that he named his dog Tiger. I am
Why?
against that.
What's wrong with that?
You don't name a thing a different species. Hi, I'm a human. My name's Rhino.
I think if your name's Rhino, you got to be like a biker, Anthony. You can't be you and be named Rhino. Megan Jenkins writes, it's weird to ask someone to take poop home with them. It's jumped from one extreme of great night to suddenly being scolded. There seems to be something in the middle that's been left out. Or maybe they're just insane. I'm getting a little bit annoyed. Some people in our Facebook group are little conspiracy theorists.
Yeah, I mean, it is a little curious, though. But they're having this super fun night, and then all of a sudden he's taking dog poop with them. We are missing some key plot points, I think.
I don't know. I think in general, you give the submitter the benefit of the doubt. If they're reaching out and asking people if they're the asshole, you got to take them on their word. Now, I think if you analyze what they're saying, and there's weird little sub-messages that they've inserted in there, like the birthday boy, saying, oh, my wife likes to do this and that can come off a little weird, and that's worth analyzing because it's there in the text. But when you start to he's leaving stuff out, he's doing this.
So you're saying if you speculate, that gets a little dangerous.
Yes. I mean, if you have good grounds to speculate, it's right there. I'm using the evidence that's there. But when you start saying, oh, this guy left out stories, clearly his dog shit in the wife's mouth. Clearly, that's what, it's like, well, come on. This guy had the intelligence to submit to the best podcast in America right now. So please cut him some slack, folks. Genevieve Rice writes, Megan Jenkins, I thought the same thing. Something else happened that night, and I want to get to the bottom of it. Enough, internet sleuths.
100% not the asshole. Your friends are insane. Regardless of their situation, anytime a friend says, hey, take the poop with you, that's crazy.
Concert tickets. Am I the asshole for not paying for a concert ticket I didn't really want? A few years ago, a college friend came into town and invited me to a concert. I knew tickets were pricey, but I was broke at the time and I wasn't particularly into the band. So at first, I said no and told him why. He responded, it's cool, man. I got an extra ticket. Just come. It'll be fine. Since I told him money was tight and he pushed for me to come anyway, I was under the impression that he was giving me the ticket for free, especially considering that since I've known him, he has been and still is one of the richest people I know. I went, had an okay time, neither the band nor the hang were particularly great, and went home thinking nothing of it. A few months passed and he texts me, hey, no rush or anything, just wanted to let you know that a ticket costs $120. So just send me a check when you get a chance. I responded that I had thought he was giving me the ticket for free, and he responded, why the would you think that? When I explained my logic and that I wouldn't have gone had I not thought it was free, he called me greedy and accused me of welching on a debt. At that point, I just started ignoring him. I ran into another old friend who lives in the same town as this dude, and he said he still brings it up a lot and bitches about me. AITA here?
I can't believe he hit him up months later. And then he was like, can I get a check? You don't have Venmo? It's 2019. Cash App? What is a check?
The fact that he waited months tells the whole story. What happened is this rich fucker thought he was buying this person's friendship. And when the friendship didn't pan out, Tony, he said, time to collect on El Debt-Arino. It was a conditional sort of purchase. That was what was going on in his mind.
That's a juicy, juicy idea, and I think that has a lot of legs.
I think it's on the roof. I think they're strong, sticky legs.
But it seems like the friendship didn't work because he was like, the hang was mediocre, the show was mediocre.
Now, I didn't like that part. I felt like Submitter was trying to push us a certain way.
Give him the Benny of the D.
Well, I am giving him the Benny of the D. I'm going by his own words. Why was it relevant? I say it wasn't.
Whether he had the best time ever, the hang was amazing, the show was amazing.
Right.
It was still a free gift.
And I felt Submitter was trying to paint a certain picture because they were afraid that we would call them an asshole. So they're like, well, it wasn't even fun, so why do I have to pay? Well, no, Submitter. No, you don't have to pay either which way. However, why are you trying to paint a certain picture?
Yeah, Picasso ass. You're painting the picture.
He's painting. Relax, Picasso. I think Submitter had a fine time thinking nothing of it. Really? You thought nothing of it? You're poor. That concert was the most fun thing you had done in some time. And that's okay. That's okay. And look, I think this rich guy's an asshole. And as we like to say here on the show, rich people are fucking cheap.
And the fact that this rich friend is complaining about him to other people, like, get a life, bro. Get a grit.
Anyone with class, anyone with decency, they wouldn't ask for it that late. That's too late. That's just not how it works.
And he practically begged the guy to go anyway, it sounds like. The Submitter was like, you know what? I'm kind of poor right now. I'm broke. And the guy's like, please, I have an extra ticket. Please, I'm so lonely and rich. Here's money.
Bottom line, Submitter, not the asshole. Other guy's the asshole. AITA for complaining about my friend's gift for my birthday. In the words of Joe List, I have anxiety and you want to leave me alone with my thoughts? Now let's begin. A few months ago, my friend sent me a link to a salt cave. Basically, you know those people who rub crystals for luck? This is for people who want to sit inside the crystals. Literally just a cave made of Himalayan salts that you sit inside on moderately comfy seats. Anyway, I thought she was saying for herself and not for me, so I said, oh yeah, I thought it sounded cool. But I was wrong. Oh, so wrong. Months later, I opened my birthday gift card from her, and what's inside? A Groupon to the Salt Cave and instructions to meet her there. P.S. I had to leave work early to get there because of when she made the appointment. Back to my crippling anxiety. I hated being left alone in my thoughts for 45 minutes, tried to do progressive muscle relaxation, and had a back spasm. Messaged my therapist from the chair under the blanket because God forbid someone see my phone. Honestly, my eyes were twitching. My breath was heavy. It wasn't a good look. I know what you're thinking. Could 45 minutes of meditation really be that bad? Yes. At one point, I was considering packing my bags and walking away from my entire life. Because if a friend brought me to a salt cave, are any of my friendships even real? Listen, it was a terrible gift. My friend, we'll call her Abby, meant well. For some reason, my personality, she figured I needed to relax. If she had given me any inclination months ago when she first sent me the link that it was for me, I would have said no. Anyway, I've told no less than 6 people how terrible of a gift it was. I went and even stayed the whole time. But am I the asshole?
Submitter's salty about it. Hachi machi.
God damn it. Fair. I've tried to meditate. I've tried to stay quiet. And listen, it's miserable. I've tried to sit there. I've lasted like 7 minutes. I mean, I just cannot do that shit. I relate with Submitter on that level. But mainly, I don't know. And maybe I'm just mean. But like, I just think this is a really shitty, corny gift. And like, I think it's like the complete opposite. We were talking about the Knicks game earlier. The wife who got her husband tickets to a Knicks game, like that is the exact opposite. Like you got someone tickets to be quiet for 45 minutes in a shitty faux cave, probably in a fucking strip mall next to a goddamn Jiffy Lube.
Not to victim blame here, which you can hardly call this person a victim, but OP did say that she was like, hey, this is pretty cool.
No way in God's green salt ass earth is Submitter the asshole. She showed up. She freaking enjoyed the gift to the max of her ability. Yeah, she texted during it, but it sounded like she didn't get caught. I think she would have mentioned that. So like, what more do you want? She accepted the gift, folks. Like, she's not the asshole. And the fact that she complained about it, I would be complaining about it till the day I die. I think this is a terrible gift.
So do you think, would you say the verdict is no assholes here, or are you saying the gift giver is an asshole?
Yeah, I got to go no assholes here. I mean, she got her a gift. And look, it's a funny experience. It's funny to get a really shitty gift.
Hopefully it brought them closer together. And if I were OP, I would also complain about it the rest of my life. And like anytime that person got me a gift, or if I saw them, I'd be like, hey, remember the salt cave? The horrible salt cave?
It will bring them together when Submitter finally is like, hey, Karen, when you got me the gift of the salt cave, it was like the worst experience I've ever had. And by far the worst gift I've ever received. Like that's like getting someone the gift of killing their parents in front of them.
The gift of a pepper cave. Oh boy. All right. But yeah, my verdict is also no assholes here.
No assholes here. AITA for not going to my best friend's wedding. My best friend is getting married in July and wants me to attend. This is an out-of-state wedding. She is in Washington and I in Arizona. I just had a baby 6 weeks ago, so the timing feels really horrible to me. At that point, my newborn will be only 13 weeks, and my reasoning for not wanting to go are these. She hasn't asked me to be in any special part of the wedding, so I don't feel any social obligation to be there, i.e., I'm not ruining the wedding by choosing not to go. I love her to death, but I don't feel that she and her fiancé have a good relationship, so I have a hard time supporting this. She's always depressed or upset about something he's doing or has done, and I don't hear too often about the positives. I've also only met the dude 3 times, and one of those times, 1, he was drunk every time, albeit they were a social outing type situation, so I'm not judging that too harshly. 2, he was extremely rude to her through the whole time. He'd cut her off or tell her to stop being so silly because she was embarrassing him. He is very reminiscent of an ex I had, and that ended horribly because of this type of behavior. And 4, I feel honestly like she's marrying him because she's lonely and doesn't feel like she can do better, but she absolutely can. Most importantly, because my newborn will be so young, still he won't have his measles vax, and flying from and to major airports with a new baby during a measles outbreak doesn't feel worth it to me ever. With these 3 points, I feel like they're pretty valid reasons not to go, but she's still been pressuring me about being there. She'll keep telling me that she's not upset if I can't make it and completely understands if I don't. But lately, she's been dropping massive hints that she does not want me there and will be pretty upset if I don't go. She's also been shading me every time she brings it up, and I tell her I won't be going. Like, if it's anything to do with something other than the wedding or being there, I get short answers or nothing at all. I feel like this might push her away from me because it is a really important life event, and I understand not having your best friend support for something like this. However, I feel my reasonings are pretty justified, and I'm not the asshole here. AITA.
Some of the reasons seem a little superfluous. Like, for example, that the guy reminds her of her ex or something. The baby does it for me. The baby's a good enough reason at all. Like, you have a brand new baby.
Good enough reason. Methinks the lady doth protest too much, Tony.
Yeah, it seems weird. Like, oh, he was drunk a couple of times. It's like, it doesn't sound like alcoholism to me. It sounds like they were at a social function, which OP even specified.
Ashton Weinberger writes, NTA, respond to the RSVP and stop talking about it. Yeah.
That's blunt and fair.
That's the move. You've got to be direct. You've got to be clear. And obviously, she needs to drop the fucking court case against this girl's future husband. I mean, what are you, nuts? That's not what you say. You go, listen, I got a baby. There's measles going around our country because the anti-vaxxers. Don't bring up that you don't love her husband and that her husband's a piece of shit. What are you, crazy?
She accused her of only getting married because she's afraid of loneliness, which I think, honestly, a lot of people probably do that. They just settle. They're like, I can't do any better. Let's just do it. So if that is the case, it's fairly common, but who knows if that's the case?
Yeah, that's none of her business. Leah Marie Dawson writes, NTA, hands down, your most important role in this life is to protect your child. If your best friend doesn't get that, she doesn't get you. Yeah, I mean, it's pretty basic. Just focus on the kiddo. Celine Maria writes, NTA, weddings suck anyways. Out-of-state weddings with a newborn, absolute nightmare. Say no, move on with your life. Is this me? This lady must be sober. Everybody loves weddings. Jeremy Schwartz, hold up. Your BF didn't invite you to be a bridesmaid?
That's a good point, though, man. That's kind of cutting. That hurts.
So here's option 1. Submitter is not self-aware, and they don't realize that, like, clearly this isn't their best friend, because if she was your best friend, girl, you would be, like, totally on the bridal party? What are you, mad?
You don't think it's possible that, like, for example, maybe you're my best friend, but I'm not your best friend? That's possible. Doesn't mean I'm not self-aware.
I don't really think that's
do you think best friend has to be a mutual? Like...
Absolutely, Anthony. That's as ridiculous as saying, like, oh, I have a girlfriend. I mean, she doesn't think I'm her boyfriend, but she's my girlfriend.
I don't know, man.
Dude, best friend is a mutual thing, bro. Best friend's a best friend. I mean, fine, if they go and they go, oh, they're my second best friend. But
what are we in 8th grade? You know what I mean? Like MySpace top 5? Like
the second option, though, maybe this other friend knows that she has the baby, she's seen it, she calls it, and she's expecting her to bail. So maybe she's like building up this whole case in her head and coming for the husband for no goddamn reason because she just won't tell the truth. She just won't tell her, look, I can't go to your wedding. The RSVP is no. I say not the asshole, unless you start bringing up all this horse shit that you put in your submission, girl. Just tell her that you got a baby and you're afraid of the measly measles.
I would say no assholes here is my verdict.
No assholes here. congrats to Anthony. He now has 40,000 followers on @UpperFeast. That's his food Instagram. Congrats to you on that.
Dude, thank you so much for the shout out. Appreciate you, bro.
Now, you were saying that influencers don't tip. Is that true?
Well, not always. There are some influencers where I've been to events where we get invited to get free food and give a restaurant some clout, little advertisement, and some people don't tip. I think that's a big asshole move, and it's like, I think it's very egotistical. They're like, you know what, I want everything for free. The food, the service, everything. And it's like...
We went out, and the meal was $160, and you tipped...
We tipped $45.
$20 each.
Yeah.
Because, Anthony got the meal for free, but, I'm not going to let him pay for my side of the tip. That's pure lunacy.
Full disclosure, I don't make my guests pay, but Danny goes above and beyond and always offers to contribute to the tip because he's a good person, damn it.
I'm just trying to get invited to more free food. So you're saying, though, some influencers will go out, they'll rack up a bill of equal proportions, $160, and then the things come in, and then the waiter's just getting nothing.
Yeah, and the thing is like the waiter's still doing their job. Like I understand, like on some level, you're like, oh, I got invited here. The food's free. Everything should be free. The service isn't free, and the manager's not paying the server anything extra. So it's like he did all the work, all the service, and to get nothing.
So from the server's perspective, having an influencer in is like having a horrible table. Is that true, Tony?
Yeah, definitely. And I've even experienced it where I go with me and a +1 and the server will be a little standoffish because they know like I got invited there. So if I'm getting weird vibes, I'll straight up tell them like, look, I either tip $20 or 20%. I'm going to take care of you.
They know the pattern. They know that influencers suck. Now, would you ever have the guts to, broach one of these people and say, hey, listen, asshole, I know you might have 300K Instagram followers, but have you ever thought that the devil is going to start following you because you're a piece of shit?
I don't know that I would necessarily word it that way, but like I could see myself calling someone out, especially if we had a really above and beyond amazing experience. And I guess, actually, no, regardless of the service, I should bring it up.
That's my challenge to you, Tony. I think you got to come for one of these people. All right, let's end on a couple games here, folks. First, we're going to do a new game called Go Off. The premise here is that Anthony is going to give me a suggestion of a asshole that I'm going to just go off about. I'm going to rant about. He's going to encourage me. He's going to just keep saying, go off, and build up my rant. And we'll see where it goes. So what's the topic?
The type of asshole who won't hold open a door for someone.
Hey, first of all, this guy thinks his time is so important.
Go off.
This guy thinks every second of his day matters so much. He's shaking the vending machine.
Ooh, go off.
This guy runs on the streets of New York City. He bumped an old lady. He didn't even check to make sure she was okay or not.
Oh, go off.
This guy eats a Subway sandwich in one bite. He almost chokes, and everyone in the whole establishment has to give him the Heimlich maneuver, wasting all of their time just so he can save 1 second eating a freaking sandwich.
Oh, go off, Danny Vega.
This guy lives in his car to save money so that he can invest more in Litecoin.
Go off.
Wow, what happened? I broke you?
Yeah.
Did you spill something on your shirt?
I did.
What happened over there?
I missed my mouth.
You spilled something on your shirt. All right, we're going to play a classic game a lot of people like. It's called Assholes At. I'll name a place, and then we're just going to name all the assholes there. Assholes at the mall, like a good old American mall.
Yeah, how about the asshole that has 5 crying kids and they're just walking behind him, they're playing on their phone, they're not paying attention to their children, they're just walking around with a big bag full of stuff and a bunch of kids doing everything.
The asshole who is at Barnes & Noble and he's got like 9 books on his right knee and he's like reading all day and there's only 7 chairs in the Barnes & Noble. Share the chairs, Jonathan!
How about the person that is trying all the stuff at like a Brooks Brothers or Brookstone or whatever, and he's just trying all the things. He's getting his feet rubbed, he's getting his back rubbed.
Oh, I hate that guy.
He has no intention of buying anything.
And he's taking his shoes off on the massage chair. Put those shoes back on, Jonathan. It's the same guy from earlier. The guy who got an Auntie Anne's pretzel and is distributing the smell all over. Now we all want an Auntie Anne's pretzel. By the way, you're dripping butter. You are dripping butter, Jonathan. It's Jonathan again.
This is Jonathan. He's no good. How about the asshole that parks in a handicap spot outside? He steals a handicap spot.
What a monster. Now we're going to do a little game called Era of Assholes.
How about the asshole when television was first invented, the asshole like in that era.
Assholes right as TV became a thing. The asshole's like, listen, I get it, seeing stuff with your eyes. But for me, radio is where it's at. You don't need anything but radio, folks.
How about the asshole that was like, did you see that last night? And they're like, TV just came out. We don't have one.
He assumes everyone has it. How about the guy who's like, listen, I know we're in the area of TVs and stuff like that, but I am taking my horse everywhere. I'm not getting a car. I'm a horse boy for life. Your horse did shit in our house. I don't care. Oh my God, are you Jonathan? Yeah, I'm Jonathan. What? I got a horse.
How about the asshole that has the horse poop in the backyard and there's all this horse poop in the backyard and he picks up a bag of it? Call back to earlier, folks.
Ooh.
Time travel.
I feel like that didn't really work with the era.
It didn't.
All right, folks. Well, it's been one heck of a show. Thank you so much for tuning in. It's been our pleasure. Please give us a 5-star rating on iTunes. Write us a little review. We would really appreciate that. And most of all, invite your friends to our Facebook group. It is popping in there, folks.
Absolutely. The comments are going crazy in there. So please, like he said, give us a review. Join the group. We need you. We want you. We need you.
We'll see you next time, Monday mornings. Love ya.
Bye.